So without further ado, I will introduce Martin Leguerrier. He joins us today from Dow's Lighting. Dow's is one of the most progressive and technologically advanced lighting brands that we represent as an agency in the commercial and residential decorative space. And really this makes Martin, the perfect candidate to speak on smart home tech and smart home integration because of who Dow's is and what they do. Background on Martin. Martin studied electronics and telecommunications at the start of the millennium and then became a telecommunications technologist at Bell Canada. He entered the lighting industry when his position was eliminated following the dot-com Nortel stock market crash. And for Martin, after investing a decade in his extensive lighting knowledge and training, Martin is now the North American sales manager at Dow's Lighting. So that's an intro to Martin, and I'll just introduce our business for anyone who doesn't know it. Here at Catalyst Sales and Marketing, we are a manufacturer's rep agency, and what we do is we connect global manufacturers to our local markets. Our focus, our why, it's really tied to sustainability, electrification, and LED technologies, and specifically some of the technologies with the Dow's brand fit perfectly in our vision. And that's why another reason they're a great company for us as an agency. So Martin, I will let you get started.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining the webinar. And obviously we're focusing on smart lighting and smart integration, which is probably the most important aspect of it. Just a brief history on smart devices in general is if you look at the graph here, in 2008 was the breaking point where there was as many people on Earth than there was connected devices on the internet. So, which if you look at the graph, it's 6.7 billion smart connected objects. So any object that we refer to as having an IP address. So, that goes back to 2008. We plan to finish 2020 with 50 plus billion smart objects, which is, we exceeded by far, the amount of people on Earth. So basically, for every person, there's roughly 50 smart devices, right? So it's really interesting to see. And with this being said, there was very little smart connected devices in regards to lighting in all of these devices. There was a lot more security systems, music streaming, devices, smart TVs, tablets, computers, but very little lighting. And that's the reason why we're focusing more and more on smart lighting and smart lighting integration, which is really interesting. And the way we do it is, if you look on the screen, the smart lighting products now available share these features, these important features. So if you look at one of them, which is no hub needed, the average customer doesn't want anything complicated, doesn't want to hire any professional IT person for commissioning. They want to be able to invest in a product and do it themselves. So connect it themselves, program it themselves, and operate them themselves. So by having no hub, meaning that you would buy a smart lighting product that is the only product that you have to buy. You don't have to buy any external devices to connect it on the network. You basically buy the product only, you install it, you connect it on your home network or office network, and you operate it with a free app. That's the idea. And also by doing that, we're able to control the color temperature of the light source and change colors with the RGB light source, which expands the possibilities. Once the light fixtures or lighting devices are connected, They can be grouped together, so we can create groups, and we can also access them remotely. And with creating groups, we can also set schedules and schedule the groups, or schedule them by individual devices. So it really is very flexible uh, moving forward. If we compare with a normal LED fixture that is non-smart, and the customer wants to, for example, integrate smart technology into it, therefore the only way to integrate smart technology is to wire it on a smart device, or plug the lamp in a smart plug, and then use an app to dim or turn on and off. But this technology here that we're referring to goes beyond that, because the smart technology is built into the lighting device itself, where you don't need any external components to connect it to a network. So it's really interesting where things are, where things are going. And it's based on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency. Uh, and it's Wi-Fi, entirely Wi-Fi. And also, this technology, a lot of customers buy these Amazon platforms, these smart speakers, the Google Assistant platforms, all the Google speakers, and they're looking for devices that are compatible with them. And obviously, all of these new lighting technologies, these smart lighting devices, are compatible with these new smart voice command platforms. Uh, Specifically, the Alexa and the Google Assistant. Obviously, there's more out there on the market, such as the Apple Home Kits, and Siri, and all these other platforms. But the most important ones and the most popular ones are the Alexa and Google Assistant. They're compatible with 80% of the smart devices on the market, including the ones that we'll see in a couple of minutes. So if we jump into fixtures and lighting devices in general, I'll just show you where we're at with the technology, what we can now offer that is, uh, you know, so you can integrate with other fixtures, and to integrate them together and control them together. So we're not limiting ourselves with just smart bulbs or smart strips that we've seen a lot on the market lately, but we're slowly getting into decorative fixtures. So if you look on the screen, we have a nice smart pendant. So out of the box, you install this pendant. It's compatible with Alexa, with the Google Assistant. It's controllable with the free app. You can set schedules to it. It's tunable white. You can. It's also RGB, so you can adjust it to static colors. So very nice product. And also, I will point out the delivered lumens. So for a 21-inch basket pendant, we are able, right now, nowadays in 2020, offer 1,600 delivered lumens, which is impressive. It's actually matching, and in some cases exceeding, the lumen output that we normally see in a non-smart LED fixture, which is also important to understand. And we're also not just getting into decorative lighting, but we're getting into families of fixtures, such as the matching floor lamp, which is about the same size of a basket, but in a floor lamp format, and offering the same amount of lumen output for, if these two fixtures are installed in the same space. So, mind blowing when you think about it, that if you go back 10 years, that there was no way we wouldn't think of offering such a product with that capability. It's actually it's mind blowing in my opinion. For if we look at recessed lighting, which is also one of the most popular lighting categories on the market. We've started with the regular slims, which we'll see on the next slide, but customers also like the glare-free technology, so which is regressed. They love the light source to be deeper in the ceiling, and that's why a lot of customers prefer the regressed type of recessed fixtures. And we're now into smart lighting with regress. So if you look on the screen, this model is a fully tunable white RGB, and again works with the same app, and that you can tune, you can adjust it to different colors out of the box without needing any external components. So really nice to see that we're able to integrate all of these colors for color temperatures and static colors, and be able to offer out of a 4-inch downlight 700 delivered lumens, which is out of a 4-inch downlight is industry standard, is what we wanted to focus on, and having all of these capabilities. Now, talking about the Slims, so the Slims also now available with the smart technology, tunable white, and also RGB. And if we go back a year ago, roughly a year or two ago, even the Slim version, we couldn't offer RGB and tunable white because it was too many LEDs packed together to offer 600 delivered lumens and having all of that flexibility. And we're improving so quickly that even just a year after the new 4-inch version, for example, we were able to integrate the tunable and RGB technology all in one and still offer 600 lumens delivered. And when I say delivered lumens, I always refer to the cool white color. So obviously, if we go to warm white, we always reduce our lumen output of about 8 to 10% roughly. So 600 delivered lumens is based on 65K cool white, always, regardless of which fixture that we'll talk about in this presentation. All right. And then bedrooms, right? So we're getting more and more into a full home integration, lighting integration. So this one here, more for bedrooms, different rooms in a home, or even in an office space. Where going back, referring to lumen output, going back last year, where a 12-inch ceiling fixture, we offered 900 delivered lumens, and now just a year after, we're able to offer almost the same amount of lumen output out of an 8-inch fixture, and for the 14-inch at 1,400 delivered lumens, which is purely industry standard. Even some of the non-smart flush mounts out there don't even offer that amount of lumens. So industry standard lumen output is the focus, with also integrating all these colors and that technology into these fixtures. So really impressive, and continuing the smart home to integration in all of the rooms in a home. We're also adding, smart under cabinet fixtures, such as these heart strips that you see on the screen right there, available in different lengths. Works with this, same technology, and can be linked together for a longer run. Most of these smart under cabinet fixtures are mainly low voltage. So we offer, plug-in drivers, but the contractor can also wire a hard wire driver, which is the same way we would, install a typical non-smart puck light or hard strip. So there's it's still familiar the way we install it, even though the fixtures include all these technologies into them, which is, makes it very easy for everybody to install and to sell at the same time. Same for the puck lights. So we offer puck light kits. Puck lights are also RGB and tunable white. for the same color temperature, so 27K to 65K. Also low voltage, like most other smart under cabinet lighting out there. So really nice. And then smart bulbs. So the smart bulbs, very interesting, because most of you guys are familiar with the other smart bulb brands out there without naming them, but the main brands require a hub or a bridge. Some manufacturers refer them as bridges, where if you don't have the bridge or the hub, the lights won't be able to be connected on the network, plain and simple. Versus this new technology that I'm referring to, and these smart bulbs that you see on the screen do not require a hub. So the smart Wi-Fi technology is built in to inside the bulbs directly. So there's no hub needed. And it's actually impressive to see that we were able to integrate all this technology into a GU10 and still offer 400 delivered lumens. So if you look on the graph there, 400 delivered lumens out of a GU10, and also being able to offer RGB and tunable white is just impressive on where we're at in the technology right now. So customers can integrate and install the fixtures that I've showed you a few minutes ago. And then if they have floor lamps, they can integrate the A19 smart bulb. And if they purchased a random track light, at Walmart, for example, and they have GU10 sockets, they can now install the GU10 smart bulbs and group them together with the smart fixtures that they've also installed in the same space, and also be able to control it with the smart, Amazon Alexa or the Google Assistant. So really, that's where we're at. It's actually impressive and exciting at the same time to see where we're at. And then obviously the most basic under cabinet or cove lighting product out there, which is tape light. So same technology applies, and in integration as well, with the other products, and the same application to connect them. So tape light kits, mainly sold into kits in 1, 3, and 5 meters. These kits can be cuttable. They can be reconnectable with the included jumper cables. They're also a lot brighter. So if you look at the red box on the screen, those were the old versions from last year and 2 years ago. If we compare the same lengths, the 1, 3, and 5 meter kits, last year's versions and the 2 year ago versions, for the same length, we almost offer roughly double the amount of lumen output in 2020, the 2020 product. So impressive to see the progression and the improvements in the lumen outputs, which is almost double, and also to be able to integrate tunable white and RGB into the tape light also. And then for outdoor, so there's more and more outdoor smart products coming out. I will point out that it gets a little more complicated when we install outdoor smart products, simply because when you're outdoors, there's a lot more interference. There's a lot more radio frequencies. There's a lot more frequencies in general. Where in a home, when the smart devices are installed inside of a home or inside of a building, the building or the home itself acts as a net isolator to protect against these interferences. So very important to understand. So on the screen, this is really our first outdoor rated smart strip, which is fully outdoor rated. The plug-in driver is outdoor rated. The Wi-Fi controller is as well, and even the driver itself that plugs in is also convertible to a hardwired driver, which is great. But in this case, the customer will just need to ensure that their Wi-Fi router is a powerful router and is close by and not installed in the basement or through thick walls, so that these outdoor rated fixtures connect well. So just, I will point out, just be careful on that. And understanding how quick we are evolving in this technology. We're working day and night to improve these smart products, so that they work better outdoors. So right now, in some cases they will work well. Customers will have a very powerful router to help for these applications, but we will certainly keep you updated on as we move forward with new improvements to avoid certain interferences, so they work better outdoors. With that being said, so we're at 22 minutes. I'm just going to point out something also very important, which makes this technology very interesting. So a lot of customers asked, if your internet service goes down, are we able to control these smart lighting devices locally? And the answer is yes. We were able to, and we did extensive research on this. When your internet service fails and you're at home and you still have power, therefore your router is still powered, the customer can still locally control your lights. So the only limitation you would have is if you're on vacation somewhere. For example, you're sitting on the beach in Mexico, and you're trying to control your lights at home remotely, and your internet service is down at home. It's the only scenario where you would be limited on controlling your lighting. So keep that in mind. We're that far. So we no longer need a hub or a bridge to allow local control, even if the internet service goes down. So on that note, I will pass it on to Mark. Thank you guys for your time in assisting to this webinar, and we'll proceed with the FAQs.
Martin, thank you so much. That was very informative. And just one thing I want to add for the distributors on the call, and one of the reasons we have put such a focus on this product and why we, collectively in this industry have seen so much growth in it is for us, believe, if you're a believer or not, whether the technology actually brings value to the consumer, the real reason that we're all in on this is because the price has eroded so much on traditional decorative, both commercial and residential lighting products. And it's like anything, if technology doesn't change, the price of anything is always going to fall between the cost to manufacture it and the value that it brings to that contractor or that end user. And that's really what Dow's has done, and products like this are doing for us. They're adding those levels of technology to get a product that, the price has been beaten down. Take those 4-inch slims, for example, below $10. And we've all caught ourselves saying it, it's a race to the bottom. But now all of a sudden we're getting these products back in that $30, $40, $50 range, which is the price we want to sell, because we're selling more SKUs, but the gross margins going down and gross profits going down, and total revenue dollars are dropping, even though we're selling more of these LED type technologies. So it's great to see manufacturers focused on this so we can all make a little more money on it. So with that being said, just onto the FAQ, some questions that have come up collectively that we put together here. What smart home assistant should I choose? And really the options are so many. You get Alexa, you get Google, Cortana, Siri, Samsung's got their Bixby product. How does one choose, Martin, the best, if you will, home assistant to pair with these smart home technologies?
A good question, Mark. So basically, if we rely to the statistics, and that's where my answer will be based, how my answer is based is, the statistics show that the market leader in the smart speakers, the smart voice command speakers like Alexa, is basically the Amazon Alexa. The Amazon Alexa holds the biggest market share, and then the second one is the Google Assistant. The other ones, like for example, the Apple Apple HomeKit. I don't want to confuse it. Apple HomeKit is far less popular. So I would say 80% of the smart devices on the market, whether it's a smart camera, smart lighting, or smart plugs, they are all compatible with Alexa and the Google Assistant. So I would say those are the two that I would recommend just based on the number of devices they are compatible with.
Got it. And then a question that comes up for distributors, because they have switches on the shelves, or contractors have access to several different smart switch technology. How can someone rationalize the decision between, should I have a smart fixture in my home? Should I do it through a smart switch? Maybe they complement each other. What's your take on that?
So a good question, Mark, as well. Really, as equally good question. A lot of customers prefer or love or are used to controlling a wall switch. It's part of our culture, and it takes there's an adaptation to that an adaptation process for these new types of devices where they're now compatible with an app, they're now compatible with the Google Assistant or the Alexa, where you no longer need to get up and control a wall switch. You can stay sitting on the couch, for example, and control these lights. But for those who are used to a wall switch, we are also working on a smart wall switch to offer customers that would be compatible with our smart fixtures. So there would be an optional device that customers can buy that is, hardwired. Obviously, it's going to be a hardwired switch and can be controlled to control and assigned to a certain zone or a certain group of fixtures and smart bulbs, so that if a customer is used to controlling with a wall switch, they'll still be able to control with the wall switch. The advantage of the platform that we've just went through versus a non-smart fixture that you would convert to a smart fixture is the platform I explained and I showed you guys here can also allows you to control an RGB fixture or a tunable white fixture. So, which is also important. It's important to understand that there's a lot more flexibility with a fixture that has the smart technology built in versus an LED fixture that doesn't have a smart technology built in.
Got it. And just the last from the FAQ, and then we'll jump into the Q&A here in a moment for anyone posting questions. How does a consumer rationalize, can I add to the system? So I think some people don't want to be early adopters because maybe they've been burned in the past by the evolution of some technologies. So if someone invests in, say, a Dow's product or one of these smart home technologies, can they add to it as the system goes on? Is there some assurance there that the system's still going to be compatible with new products as they've come on the market?
Good point, Mark. So our technology is an open protocol. So by saying an open protocol is you can they're interconnectable depending on the platform that you're using. Uh, so with that being said, we just partnered with a new global partner that is involved into other technologies such as Bluetooth mesh and other types of Bluetooth connections, in addition to Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz. So with that being said, in the future, that opens up a lot of doors because the partner that we just signed up with also is partners with other major smart lighting brands in the world. So it really opens up a lot of opportunities moving forward. For now, we're only focusing on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi technology, and until the cost is down on other, Bluetooth mesh and other technologies as they emerge and as they become more popular.
Awesome. And Martin, I'm just going to skip the Q&A section because I know it's 11:30 now, and we're just going to answer some live questions that came up now, if you don't mind. The first one is says, if no Wi-Fi router required, do they work as ad hoc? And I think this goes back to what you talked about earlier with the internet being down, but my understanding is You still need the Wi-Fi router. It's just if the access to the internet of that router, so the routing portion of that is down, as long as there's still local Wi-Fi, then you can control the system. Is that correct?
That is exactly correct. So our platform it requires a router. It requires the router to be live and connected with your devices within that same network. And if your service like your internet provider service is down, so not sure, depending on if you have ExploreNet or if you have Cogeco or any, Bell or any other devices, if your internet service is down, but you still have power in your home so that your router is still powered, the lighting is still controllable locally within your home or office space or wherever you are.
Okay, got it. And then another great question, this is from Reza as well. Are these systems PoE? And I'll just touch on this and you can correct me, but these are all line voltage. So all the technology is embedded into the individual light fixtures. So they take 120 volt at some form, that gets converted to DC with the driver, and then everything is done through Wi-Fi. Is that correct? There's no need for
So that's
power over
correct.
Ethernet
Exactly.
here?
Yeah. So PoE is very different from the platform that we went through today. So PoE is a smart, so it converts a regular fixture into smart by means of wired. So it is wired. So you convert your fixtures into smart just by a wire. And it's a Cat5 wire typically, versus our product is wireless through a Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz frequency. So that's the fundamental difference between the two.
Perfect. Some great questions today, and we'll just finish up as Martin takes us through these slides to close. So first of all, we at Catalyst always want to thank any manufacturer we represent who works in a space when we host a webinar, and this one specifically is definitely Dow's. They are the market leader for the electrical channel. Please also get in touch with us, join us, and follow us on our social media at Catalyst Electrics on Instagram, Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn. And last, you can check our website, catalystsales.ca. We put